Hey, 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 hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome to NightSong Paranormal's Uni-Tea. How is everybody this wonderful Wednesday night?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Getting through the week.
Missing ghost hunting. So because of that, I'm going over to Buffy's tomorrow and we're going to investigate for a little bit over there. You know. Nothing.
They're being feisty around here.
Yeah, they're being feisty. But welcome, everybody. We have not done our Uni-Tea since May. It's been a while. We actually tried to shoot for last week and didn't get there. And now we're shooting tonight and we finally made it. Well, we'll see if we can get through it. But I am Barbie with NightSong, and we have our wonderful panel of investigators here. We've got Buffy with us. We've got Vernon and Ty. He is our new provisional member, and that is the husband and son-in-law of in the SQ / Wolfenbarger / Martin Tree. So pretty cool. Noticeably missing is Morgan, and she's hanging out with Delilah right now. So with that, you guys, I wanted to, on Facebook, it's like you really make really good connections with a lot of the different teams and investigators and enthusiasts. So I just kind of wanted to send a shout out to Kelly's Haunted Adventures. Kelly is with K2 Paranormal. These are our top engagers. Alicia Arney, who is NightSong alumni. We've got the Elite Vixen Paranormal Group, just Parasisters, amazing investigation team of great ladies. And Wolf Royalty, so that's kind of like a trio of different teams. Thanks so much for all y'all's support. Heather Reynolds, she is a good friend of ours, fellow paranormal investigator and volunteer with Ronnie D's camp over at the hospitals in Tennessee, and Epic VIP events. So just wanted to send shout out to all you guys, top engagers. Thank you for all your support and engaging with us and everybody else. So, we also received a nomination for Paranormal Researchers of the Month by Ontario's Paranormal Magazine. And our good friend Chanel with Elite Vixens beat us out. And man, just to be nominated among the caliber of teams and researchers that we were, it means something. So congrats to Chanel and the Elite Vixens. Well-deserved, everybody who was on the list. And do you guys want to see something really cool?
I like cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we had kind of teased this a little bit, but we teased doing something about like once a month or once every couple of months, we wanted to do what we called the Phantom Chronicles. So we're going to tell you a little bit about it by showing this.
Soon, NightSong Paranormal will take you on a spine-tingling journey as they tell about the history and hauntings of some of their favorite places. So grab your EMF meters, light your sage bundles, and join the team as they explore the spooky world of spirits, echoes, and things that go bump in the night. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, prepare to be captivated by the mysteries that await within the Phantom Chronicles.
So Vernon did our voiceover on that one.
Did he really, though? Did he really?
He did, Vernon.
What range he has! Oh my gosh,
it's so awesome.
Thank you.
So we have the very first one ready to go. So if you guys want to watch it, we can put it up now. It is a little over 4-minute video. So it's a long one, but we were waiting for Ronnie D to kind of come in and put his blessing on it. But because it is under 5 minutes, we are allowed to kind of put it up. But if you guys want to watch it, I can play it now. If not, then we'll just move on and kind of talk about some of our investigations. So which one do you want to do?
Clean up on aisle 5. Clean up aisle 5. Somebody said, Andrea says I have a nice customer service rep voice. So I say we watch it. Let's
you want to watch it?
I vote watch it. Yes, absolutely. Let's watch it.
Okay. So while we're just kind of waiting for this, so y'all, we did a lot of research, but the thing is with this one, we really didn't have to do much because Ronnie and his team kind of already did that. But we are doing one on the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and here it goes. Without further ado, premiere.
Welcome to NightSong Paranormal's Phantom Chronicles, where we take you on a spine-tingling journey, delving into one of our favorite haunted locations. Today, we are chronicling the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital in Tennessee. Founded in 1959 as the South Pittsburgh Municipal Hospital, this 68,000 square foot medical facility was established to meet the growing needs of the local community. It served its purpose until it closed in 1998. Prior to the hospital's existence, the land was used by a Native American tribe for living and engaging in day-to-day activities that enhanced their survival. The land was also claimed by Union soldiers in 1863 and used until the end of the Civil War. Despite some misinformation, there were no reported battles on this land. Instead, many believe the activity stems from the injuries, illnesses, and deaths that occurred while the hospital serviced the community. Regardless of what has resulted in the paranormal activity, one thing is certain. This hospital is considered to be one of the most haunted places in Tennessee. Locals and visitors alike claim to have experienced paranormal phenomena within the hospital. Reports include hearing babies crying, children laughing, witnessing ghostly figures, having their hair stroked, phantom footsteps, and more. NightSong Paranormal witnessed the phantom footsteps firsthand and were able to document the phenomena.
Can't really see you, but we can probably hear you, and you can interact with these devices. Rachel, there's nobody out there. Seriously?
Former employees who worked there when it was operational also recall inanimate objects moving on their own and dark shadows stalking the halls. The third floor is said to be home to several ghosts, including Nellie and a tall shadow man. There's also a spirit named Betty, who was a nurse at the hospital. It is documented that she died of a heart attack at the nurse's station on the second floor. In the ER, there is a playful child known as Buddy. He likes to play with all the toys visitors have brought him. He died of complications from a snake bite. Then there's Jim, the longtime caretaker of the hospital. He died of complications of diabetes in his apartment on the first floor. He is said to make a K2 meter or a REM pod flash to the beat of a song played for him. The hospital is now owned by Uni-Tea, a good friend of NightSong Paranormal. He and his staff of volunteers have worked hard to restore the hospital and make it safe for paranormal research. If you're feeling brave, you can participate in an overnight investigation at the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. Alternatively, Daytime investigations are available if you'd rather explore while the sun is out. Click the link in the video description for more information. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the hospital's history and reported hauntings make it an intriguing destination for those seeking the supernatural. From all of us here at NightSong Paranormal, happy hunting and keep it spooky.
Very nice. Very nice.
That was great. Good job.
Yay! Their very first Phantom Chronicles. So, yeah. So, let's get into the places we've been, Vernon.
Yes. So it's been a busy time since the last time we were here. We will start off with a very special event that was Barbie's birthday bash. I'm actually wearing the shirt for that event right now.
I almost wore mine.
Yep. Birthday and booze. BOOS. BOOS. Yes. And that was at the Old Morgan County Jail in Olive Hill High School. We did a partnership with Broken Souls Paranormal on that event, and it was a great time. Guys, what did y'all think about the jail? We'll start with the jail.
The jail was interesting.
The dolls.
Second floor, the dolls. Oh,
The doll.
The dolls. The first thing I think
dolls.
about.
That is the first time I've ever been in a location where dolls relocated themselves, not just scooted like they were here and then they were here. That's yeah.
Yeah,
Never.
and the thing
Oh.
is that, you know, if y'all know, I mean, Marshall, he doesn't play. You know what I mean? Like we asked him, and he was the only other person besides us there, and we were like, "Did you move these dolls?" And he was like, "No, ma'am." Like he doesn't play, and I believe him when he says that. Like,
We hit a point where we were asking everybody, no, really, if you moved them because you thought it was funny, cute, haha. Now's the time to tell us you thought it was funny, cute, haha.
yeah,
Everyone was like, no, we didn't move it. And we were like, well, they were in the chair in the center of the room, and now they're sitting on the crate in the corner, and nobody's been in that room. We had all been on the second floor through that time.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely
yeah.
amazing place. We all had some
Getting
great
chills.
experiences there. And then we moved on to the high school the following night. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the high school the following night. Had some good laughs, did a good live stream there. The three of us, excluding Ty, had a moment in the auditorium that we will never forget. We
Mhm.
were following a
Yes.
shadow around the auditorium. We finished following it around, and then an air conditioner decided to turn on and scared the bejesus out of me.
Out of all three of us, we all jumped towards each other.
I jumped over equipment.
I was trying to crawl up Barbie.
No, we
No.
have never Scooby-Dooed it so fast in our lives. It was
It was quite fun
Like zoinks.
Yeah.
yes.
because
It was awesome though, because we were freaked out. We all three of us were watching the same thing, and then that thing came on, and it was industrial size, like air conditioning
Yeah.
unit, and it came on. I died. I
the,
Which is
but
much
part of me is
louder
still
when there's
there.
only
the
which is
tension
much
was
louder
high.
when there's only 4 of you left in the building.
Uh-huh.
And then somebody said I fell asleep toward the end of the night. I don't think. I mean,
I have
Vernon,
proof.
much like the rest of our paranormal investigations,
Oh, yeah.
we have evidence.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have the proof.
There's at least
We
a
have
voice
the
recorder
evidence.
at all times.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
there were multiple cameras. turned on.
Actually, if we want to
Not
show
to
it,
4K.
we
Oh my
absolutely
God.
can, because I've got it.
Good.
Vernon, you brought it up. It's fair game now.
It's fair game. I'm gonna have to do it now. So,
it was
I
your
guess-
birthday weekend. You do what you want.
yeah. So it's uploading right now and it's processing. But you guys, we were going like back to back, and so Vernon, bless his heart, he took one for the team. He slept downstairs, and we had some early risers, and he didn't get much sleep. I mean, we all kind of came in. What time did we come in from the investigation? Like from Morgan County?
The sun
3:30?
was right. The sun was no,
Yeah.
it was later.
Oh,
it was
it's
the
later
sun
than
was
that.
coming up when we
The
came.
birds
in.
were out. It was somebody was
Yeah.
eating cheesecake. You know, a bunch of inconsiderate people eating cheesecake.
Cheesecake was the next night.
It was the next night. It was
Oh.
after the high school. But
That was our 4 a.m. cheesecake.
this was Vernon on the second night about 3 a.m.
Good morning, sunshine. You fell asleep, boo. With that, we're gonna wrap. It's time to go. We need sleep. Okay.
Yeah, but are you gonna be awake?
Are you gonna be okay? Okay. All right.
My toddler does the exact same thing when she's woken up. Don't feel bad. Stella,
I
where
have
am
no
I?
words.
You didn't have words then either.
Anyways, our next event that we did, our next investigation was at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, which you got to see our Phantom Chronicles for that. The piece of evidence that you saw was very compelling because the two groups that were there with us, we were on totally opposite ends of the hospital. In fact, there's a courtyard with glass windows going all around it, you know, like most hospitals have. And it got to the point where Barbie was coming out looking for us. Buffy and I were on the other side of the courtyard looking for her. There's no way she heard us. She couldn't hear us yelling for her. So,
And vice versa, right?
and vice versa.
It was crazy. Yeah. But those footsteps were so prominent. And I mean, it was so much louder, obviously, in person than, you know, I didn't enhance the video much, the audio much, because you could really hear it anyway. But it was just it was like rubber shoes, like nurse shoes on the floor, walking with like in a hurry to get somewhere. And myself and the other girl that was there, we just couldn't believe what we were hearing. I thought it was Buffy or Vernon. And so as I was like trying to load what was happening in my head, and I realized, holy, there's nobody. It's not them. I chased it, and then the footsteps just disappeared. That was it.
Yep. That was a building that I don't even think we scratched the surface of. It was my first time there, and I thought it was beautiful. And we did a lot of stuff, but I still don't think we even got into the meat and potatoes of it all. And it was an amazing investigation. I'm glad there is no footage of the catwalk dance off that we had while I was there. That's all I'm going to say about that.
We could probably get
I'm
it.
99% sure I've got it.
Why is there always a camera? There's always a camera.
It's like your job, dude.
Yeah.
Kind of the point.
Yeah. All right.
Not to mention it was live on all the Tiki Talks.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So our next investigation after that brought us to my personal favorite of all places to go investigating, the place that I've been investigating since I was 18 years old. So 20 years, Octagon Hall. Beautiful piece of history.
Gosh,
Yeah.
I love that place so much. And the thing, I love to get there early and to talk to Bear and Beth. I mean, I could listen to them talk for hours.
We've got Beth.
Yeah, Beth is
She's
here
in the comments.
I could just listen to them and talk to them for hours. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Just a wealth of knowledge. And yeah, it's my ground zero. It's the place that started it all for me many years ago. And it always beckons me back. It's like my paranormal home, I guess.
Yeah. I had a personal experience there. We did some dowsing rods. I believe we were doing dowsing rods in the living room. That I think we contacted the guy who pretty much taught me all I know about the paranormal. It was an emotional time, but great investigation there as always. So that brings us up to the Beast, Brushy Mountain.
Yeah, we went there with Kelly's Haunted Adventures. It was her maiden voyage for her event company. So Kelly is with K2 Paranormal, good friends of ours. And her and Gina just did an excellent job. It was a bucket list location for me,
Same for
my
me.
first time there, and it went wonderful. And we got an actual really cool EVP. If y'all want to hear it real quick.
Yep. Let's set it up for them. We were on one of the blocks, and everybody was in one side of the block, and I had walked out and around to the opposite side. Usually when I do that, I'm completely silent, completely still, and you'll hear there was only one other male with us, and you'll hear that male talking, and then I'll let the rest speak for itself.
Here we go.
That didn't work. I know there's some pieces of stone that have fallen off in your walls. You guys pick one up and throw it.
Was there another male voice while you were talking, Jeff? Anybody else hear that?
I didn't hear it.
Stone that have fallen off in your walls. You guys pick one up and throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had, yeah, it was just I had this recorder. Actually, it was a birthday present of mine that my mom and dad got me. It was this thing, and I was listening to it with these headphones just live. Nobody else heard it but me. So it was like he had to have been like right there or something. But yeah, I had spotted it right away. And then I play it back for everybody, and they're like, no way. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way it wasn't right beside you. I was live listening through mine. What, 5 feet away from you,
Yeah.
and it didn't pick up.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I truly think Barbie was a focus for the evening, because there was another block where we were on where we had a very emotional session between what we felt like were two inmates. And one of them very much was drawn to Barbie at that time. So it was pretty amazing weekend.
It was.
We were visited by Kermit the Frog, Mickey Mouse, all kinds of fun things at 3, 4 a.m. in the morning.
And Casper.
There's Casper. Casper did do some naughty stuff when we were there, did he not?
And nothing like walking into an area, standing there for a moment, and suddenly he's hanging on my backpack, and all of a sudden his head just starts repeatedly banging into my shoulder.
Casper's been a very bad boy recently.
He has
We'll talk
been.
about that here in a little bit again. When we go to,
Yeah.
we go to Smith County, a NightSong favorite. It's
Mhm.
kind of like a second home for us. We visited the museum and a little bit of the courthouse this trip. Ty was there for this trip.
Yeah.
Ty, what did you think of old Smith County?
I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't feel anything spooky dooky when we walked in there, right? The second those lights come off, it's like night at the museum, dude. Like, especially with all the mannequins and everything else going around, like the general feel of the room. Like, I don't want to be in there by myself, and I was actually really grateful that we had all the people that we had there. It was the first time I got to see a lot of your guys' equipment in use. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like just an ED or a voice recorder and a camera, and that's it. That's all you really need. But specifically your tripwires, Vernon. Those were getting like intelligent reactions throughout the night. Some of the cat balls got some good stuff. And it was also the first time I'd ever sat in on a spirit box session. And it wasn't even a spirit box session that I was involved in. I was in a totally different part of the room. And one of the other groups that was there, they were doing a spirit box session. It seemed like they were talking to like a family friend of theirs. And then all of a sudden, the voice that was coming through changes in pitch, and it starts saying things that are relevant to like a not family friend who died recently in my life. And I could have sworn that it was him just like talking to me on the phone. And I just jumped up and like got out of the room. And that's the first time something like that has ever happened to me. So like overall, a moving and wonderful experience for me, like as a night. So yeah.
I'm definitely glad that you got some experiences with that one. I had a moving experience. I first time I'd ever been part of a human pendulum experiment,
Yeah.
and that was fun. Buffy also was part of the experiment, but it's weird because the responses I was getting, she was getting as well, and that's a long story for another time. But yeah, it was a nonstop experience. We got tons of stuff, and I believe that Miss Barbie has some stuff for us actually.
Yeah, so I mean, as Vernon had said, I mean, it's one of our very favorite spots to go to. Stephen and Terry, Mitten is here in the chat tonight, so it's good to see you guys. But this is something that we had kind of correlated. You know, it's always good. It's one of those things. It's more than just, you know, can you set that light off? Can you make that alarm go off? Can you make this happen? Make that happen? But when the pieces come together through the investigation and you can validate things, I mean, that's what we're here for. So this video shows the last time, before last, where we got some of that very validating information.
Can you tell us your name? My name's Buffy. I'm Barbie.
Hi.
And that's Tabitha over there that's able to hear you. Do you have a last name?
Get out.
Are we still speaking with Wade?
Rick.
No, we're speaking with Rick.
Margaret.
How many of
Nick.
how many of you are here? How many are in here?
11.
Okay.
Yes.
Can we just speak with one person for right now?
Cool. Hello.
Hello. Can you tell us your name? Who are we speaking
You know.
Don't know. I don't know. You have to tell me your name.
Barbie.
Yeah, you remember me. This is my 4th time here. Since you know me, can you tell me your name?
Hi. It said hi.
Is this who I
Bitch. It said hi, bitch.
Hey. Yeah. So are we speaking to Mr. Third Floor?
Hi. You know it. Hi.
Hey.
There is a rude spirit who occupies the courthouse. He intimidates women and tries to isolate them on the 3rd floor. Barbie accepted the challenge and did a solo on that floor on her last visit. The spirit did not engage.
Hi.
We heard that your name really isn't Jeff. Why are you hiding behind a name? You seem to like to hide behind things.
Fred.
Court documents in Smith County detail the trial for a case of Jane. Jane was accused of being an accomplice for unaliving her master William Bollinger. A 17-year-old slave named Fred had already been convicted and sent to the gallows in the lawn of the courthouse. The recorded testimony also contains an account by Eliza, an enslaved woman who describes Fred's violent temper and says that she and Jane were both afraid of him.
Do you want people to start calling you by your real name?
Thanks. Fred. Buffy.
Well, hello.
Hey.
Were you innocent, Fred?
Yep.
Is that why you're so mad? Because you were innocent and females were the witness to put you away?
Pretty cool.
Good old Smith County.
Heck yeah.
Never ceases to produce and amaze every time we're there.
Yeah, and so we had heard of the story, but we, Stephen had just kind of went over it like really fast with us. So when Tabitha said Fred, it like, oh my God, Buffy. And I grabbed for Buffy, and then I'm like, Steven, what was the name of that guy? And so you kind of saw us talking to Steven off to the side, and he was able to confirm all that. So that's what makes that like really cool.
So that will bring us up to our final investigation of Old Franklin County Jail and Museum with Illuminate the Beyond and the Grimm guys. This was a fun one. This definitely was a fun one. The name escapes me, but the lady who hosted,
Amber?
Buffy, who was it?
Amber,
the one who runs the.
That was Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. One of the most amazing hosts that I think I've ever come across. Was there the whole night with us. Basically catered to everything we needed. It was amazing. But yeah, let's talk about some of the things that happened. Ty, you were on this one. Had a little bit of a personal experience with this. I kind of walked in on it as you were having it, and we had some good times.
Yeah, so I locked myself into one of the cells down at the very end of the hall, and just kind of sat there for like probably 30-45 minutes with K2 sitting on the bed. I wasn't getting a whole lot, and then I started talking about how, like, everybody's always told me that I should have belonged in a jail cell like this, and if this is a cell that I would have been in, this is actually kind of nice. You get this cool limestone floor and all that. And as I was doing that, Vernon had like just walked into where the cells were, and he was getting stuff from across the side. I didn't see anything on my K2 because I hadn't, so I wasn't really looking at it. And then Vernon let me know that he was getting reactions to that line of questioning. We kept going on that, and we were getting a bunch more stuff. I think we all eventually ended up just parking in the cells after that.
Yeah.
And then you guys, go ahead.
I think you were definitely talking to someone across the way. That's possibly why your K2 wasn't going off, because you were talking to someone else who was on the block with you, and
like through the cell bars.
Really good session there.
Yeah. We also had a nutty interaction in the kitchen with flashlights that were then corresponding with K2. Two separate K2 meters set behind the flashlights were spiking with it. I know you and Buffy sat there for a lot longer than I was in talking to him. And I think Morgan and Buffy also sat. Yeah.
They thoroughly enjoyed the flashlights in there.
Morgan came in and the men got kicked out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd also, me and Morgan had just had an encounter upstairs in like the Civil War area of the jail, and I got ballsy and thought I was just going to provoke the warden who I thought we were talking to, and we had Vern's tripwire up there with us, and I told him that he doesn't pay my bills and he can't kick my ass anymore. And every single light on the tripwire flashed the entire circle, like the entire cycle of how all the different colors it can do all at once. And then Morgan had a thing that was saying very more antagonistic things. So that was the premise that we had, and then I came down into the kitchen, and the men were told to get the hell out.
And Buffy has a little character there with her again that was acting up at Franklin County Jail. Casper. We walked into the little jail unit, and Casper just starts doing his thing.
3 separate times. Every time when I walked into the cell block on the first floor, and I would stand still for a moment. So the way my backpack is, I kind of hang him on the tripod thing. I kind of strap him in there. So he's usually hanging around somewhere like right here. And all 3 times when I walked in there, and it also did it when we went upstairs to the children's room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had her stop in the doorway. I was like, okay, if you felt that, let me back you up to see if there's any way that just by chance Casper hit the doorway. She had plenty of clearance. Even if he was in the original position that he was in, there is no way that he hit this doorway and he had shifted completely. It was quite quite something.
It's not unsettling at all when that
No, I
happens.
mean, he's just sitting right there with you.
All the time.
So that was definitely our investigations up to this point, and I think Miss Buffy has a list of where we're going next.
All the things going on.
Yay!
Well, August starts tomorrow. It is already August. And we are kicking off August at the Maggie Mansion in Gallatin. Maggie is a very cool location. It was bought, what, a year or so ago, Barbie? Am I correct on that?
About 2 years. About 2 years ago.
And the people that bought it, they've been working to renovate and all of that. And they have invited several teams in to come in and do some investigation before they kind of decide what they're going to move forward with on the property, as far as if they're going to sell it or Airbnb it. We would love to see them make it a scare B&B, because that would be a great location.
Yeah.
From what we've heard from others so far, I'm super stoked to get in there from what we've heard after everyone else.
You know, and I've spent the majority of my day today doing a lot of historical research on Ancestry.com, just trying to find out all about Maggie, her family members, and all that. So y'all are in for a treat once I get that packet to you.
And then let's see, later in August, we have the Ditto House, which is owned by some great friends of ours, Ernie and Denise Pack. They are Pac-Man Paranormal. This is the house that they live in. This house is on the National Registry. It is to watch. You could go look. If you look on Pac-Man Paranormal, if you search the Ditto House page on here, they are forever posting, well, we tried to go to bed last night, and so they only open their house up for a very few investigations a year. And we were lucky enough to get in to do one. So that one's going to be a big one. One. And in September, we have the Dr. Martin Walton House in Springfield. And that one it's in an interesting location near the Red River and all of that. There is a lot of history in the Springfield area. That it's kind of on the cusp of Springfield and Cross Plains. That area has a very interesting history as far as an indigenous history, among other things, plus farming, fields, plantations, and whatnot. So that one, it hasn't been investigated very many times yet. So it's going to be very interesting to be within the first round, kind of like Maggie Mansion, within some of the first rounds of teams getting in there. And September also, we've got the Gaines House. I'm super stoked about this because for a year and a half now, the last time that Barbie investigated there, I couldn't go. And she's been dying for us to get back there, and keeps telling me, Buffy, you got to go. You're going to love it. So
the energy is there, or woo.
And I'm one that I purposely don't go and look at much on the history of places any longer. I wait till afterwards to kind of look back through. So I fly blind coming into a lot of these. I'm so excited for Gaines House after everything I've heard on it. And then October,
Ooh-wee.
spooky season. October, we have October 17th, we will be working with Black Wolf Paranormal, assisting and hosting at the Bell Witch Cave.
So mad.
That will be...
So mad. My wife has to have a baby.
We got next year time.
You have to repopulate the earth. We have to go find.
You're right. I'm doing my genetic duty.
Yeah, you're helping repopulate the earth. We're going to find the ones that have left it.
Yeah.
So
circle of life.
So definitely, we will be starting to share out from the NightSong page roughly about a month before the investigation. Black Wolf, for their Bell Witch investigations, they usually run the tickets about 30 days prior. Start running the tickets about 30 days prior. So keep an eye out on our page and Black Wolf Paranormals for that to come out. And then
Woohoo!
we have our annual NightSong Paranormal Halloween event at
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Old Historic Harriman Hospital. A favorite. We love you, Ronnie D. Can't wait to go. It is going to be October 26th, the weekend before Halloween. Tickets are on sale now. You can go to NightSong's Facebook page and find the event. That will take you to our ticket leaf if you want to go ahead and buy tickets outright. We do also have payment options for the tickets. We know
times are hard.
life sucks sometimes and you can't pay for it all at once. We do have payment options. If you want to look further into the payment options, go to our website, nightsongparanormal.com, and you can find everything for the payment options there. And I can't wait. It's going to include snacks, drinks. We will be leading groups through the hospital to investigate. We will also have free roam time roughly after midnight, correct, Barbie?
Yes.
So you get a full night from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. of all that Harriman has to offer, and it has everything to offer. Last time I walked out of there, it looked like last time I walked out of there, we had a nurse that was still trying to do their job, and I had marks where they tried to give me an IV.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back to that kitchen.
Very cool.
I know the kitchen.
I'm excited.
That'll definitely be on the rotation. The kitchen.
I've never seen anything so intelligent on an investigation that basically said, "No, we would like for you to go out now. Thank you."
Yeah. We were escorted out via K2.
We were.
They said bye. And then we are looking at, there's another possible event on, what date is it, Barbie?
Possibly the 26th.
Oh, possibly the 26th. Like we've got several, we're talking dates with them at our residency at Buchanan Log Home, talking about a potential event there. Stay tuned. Words are hard. We're still kind of in talks, and we'll see where that leads. And Ty.
So I got a nice little list of questions here. If you guys have any other questions, y'all watching, go ahead and throw it up in the chat. We'll answer anything that you throw in there. The first question is, do you believe some paranormal investigators attract activity? Do you think some repel activity? Me personally, I haven't seen individuals necessarily attract, and if they do, you can almost always rule it out as like confirmation bias, like they want it to be that so bad. But I think certain people definitely are more susceptible to catching on to stuff. I don't think it necessarily follows them everywhere. Sometimes it can, obviously, because attachments. That's why we do our entire cleansing thing at the end of investigations. And I think as far as repelling activity, I've found myself to kind of have done that a couple of times on the couple of investigations that we've done, just in terms of anything that requires like the human factor, like particularly like dowsing rods. I can't get them to do anything for me. And both Buffy and Vernon kind of explained it. It's almost a form of channeling. And if you're not, body and spirit open for that, then of course you're not going to get anything. What do y'all think?
As far as attracting activity, everybody's energy is a little different everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. And if you have a particular background anywhere related to where you're going and investigating, for example, any jail or prison we go to, I am fully not necessarily expecting, but okay with the fact that if something wants to target me because I used to be a correctional officer, I understand that's going to happen. As far as repelling activity, I don't repel anything. I go in with the, like you said, open mind, body, soul. Here I am. I'm here to see what you got. Use whatever you need from me to do it. But yeah, I do think certain people with certain personality traits and certain energies do attract activity.
I'm a firm believer in the energy you give is the energy you get.
That's what I've always said.
That's why, you know, I've been driving to investigations before and haven't had a bad day. And it's a strong focus of mine while driving there to bring that back down, bring that back to center, because that's not the energy I want to project when I get there. Equally so when I'm exhausted, when I'm super tired, I'm like, okay, I can't, like, I need to pull it together. And I do believe that there are some spirits that will follow place to place, only because it's happened to me.
Right.
I've had what we have figured out as my dad pop up at multiple places. You know, it's so, you know, but, and I love like certain energies that are that do seem to be drawn to you when you've been to a place multiple times. I love when I walk into Octagon Hall and it feels like Harriet just gave you a hug.
Right. See, that's almost recognition. I don't necessarily think that's like being drawn. It makes sense for there to be recognition if you've been there once before, let alone as many times you guys go to a lot of these places. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like kind of along what Buffy was said. I do. I've always said that this since I started investigating. The energy you put in is what you get out of it. If you come in closed off, you're not going to experience anything. If you come up open and you put your whole heart and soul into it, you don't have to believe, but as long as you are open enough to receive it, you will get it. And that's why, you know, when we go on investigations, there's sometimes that I pair different people together, or I'll send somebody in solo, because it's a concoction. It's a cocktail of energies that you can throw in. If nothing's happening, we need to switch something up, because I feel whatever energies can combine, it can make certain things happen. So, yeah.
Miss Morgan has a question from the chat.
I know Buffy mentioned it earlier, but do you individually prefer doing research on locations ahead of time or going in blind? For me, I like to know the historical portion of it, because if you go in entirely blind and you have no sort of basis to get questions started from, then you can't validate anything. Paranormal experiences, I don't care to know it. That's why when we do home investigations, I am the only person who talks with the clients, and I'm the one that knows all the background of the paranormal, because I want the team to go in and validate those experiences. And I might leave out some historical details, but I do think that going in completely blind, you need some sort of basis for your questioning, or else, you know, kind of going in blind, you're actually going in blind. You don't know what you're asking, and you can't validate on the spot sometimes, but everybody's different.
Yeah, I'm right there with Barbie on that. That I'd like to know like a superficial, topical amount of knowledge, particularly for the sake of questioning. But beyond that, I don't want to know too much, because then I'll be looking for stuff, you know, and I'll be looking for stuff to validate without getting things that I can then validate. Does that make sense? Like when we did the sorry, I forgot the place. We were just there, like at Franklin County Jail. I didn't know a whole lot when I walked in, but they had enough material like displayed out that kind of told the story. And as the night progressed, like as I was learning things that like made sense with something that just happened to me in the cell block, like that was almost cooler in my opinion. Like the experience was cooler for me.
I'm okay with knowing the historical information. That's why we have this one right here. But as far as, like she said, for paranormal, I don't really want to know a thing because I don't want to know hot spots. I don't want to know this. I don't want to know that because I want a true representation. If something does happen, I didn't manifest it in my mind or, expect something to happen. So, a mouse moved over here. That's a spirit. No, I want to, because we have seen, mice on investigations that we thought were something walking, and it was just a mouse going across the way.
See, even for me, like I like knowing if I'm going to know the history of a place, I want it to be extremely high level. The Smith family lived here, then the Jones family lived here. That's all I want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to start into the other pieces, because before the Smith family and the Jones family lived there, and before a building was there, it was land, and there was indigenous tribes there, and there were
Dinosaurs.
other settlers that passed through. There's so much history. I don't want to get hung up on the building itself, the people that built it, the people that dwelled in it, the war that was fought there, whatever. I kind of like to give it a chance for it to be anything and everything since the formation of the earth.
Dinosaurs.
Specific story.
There are
Dinosaurs.
but it's truth. There's there's so many years before that something else existed on that land before any people built a dwelling or any, or before
Everyone dies.
Yeah, and so it's having a very high level of knowledge of something I'm good with, but I try to not stay stuck on that because there's so many things that could have happened around that space.
Now, Andrea, she's a really good historian. She has shared quite a bit of information. She learns that we'll go to certain places and she'll share. And it's so important. Like Andrea, it's so invaluable. Like, thank you for sharing all your research and things that you do. You do it willingly without being asked. And we appreciate that. That is community right there. So thank you for that, my darling. And Kelly agrees on the perspective of history rather than paranormal. I just think it's really important that the paranormal portion don't relate. At least one person knows, but don't relate to the whole team because you want to validate.
Correct. We have the validator, and your team can just get natural experiences that can be validated after the fact. Sweet. Back to my list of questions. Has your home become active since becoming a paranormal investigator?
Buffy's has. Mine did for it was very short lived. I think it was just leftover energy. I don't think that it was actual like entity or anything. It was just leftover energy that I may have brought back. But Buffy's, let's hear from you, Buff.
I don't even know where to start. I mean, it's constant, and it's in waves of constant. Like it's normal. Normal is the occasional, I saw a shadow right over here several times today. The back here where I usually sit to do these is the area in the house where most of the activity also happens most of the time. So shadows back here, bumps, a few disembodied voices. That back here is fairly common, but then I loved it. I say every now and then they're being extra feisty during this period of time. The last 2 weeks, I've had a lot of different things happening. Full opaque streaks of light. Had a full body apparition on Sunday. And all of this is in a different part of the house that doesn't always have activity. And I had a very odd experience when I was close to asleep, but I was awake enough. Very interesting experience that freaked me out occur a few nights ago. And I don't even know where to begin. It's like I've had things flipped over. I've had something was banging around over here just while one of the videos was playing earlier. Like they've been feisty lately. And I mean feisty in a good way. They're making themselves known, and I just say the feisty part because
Auntie Barbie's coming over tomorrow.
we're investigating this house tomorrow night.
I can honestly say my house has not become more active. The only time I believe I've ever brought something physically home with me was the first time I went to Waverly Hills Sanitarium. I felt like I had a little shadow figure that hung up in the corner of my bedroom when I was 19 years old, and it was there for a couple days. And I reached out for help, like, what do I do? And they basically said, you can't stay here. I didn't invite you here. You got to go back home. And that was the end of that. And that's the only time I think I've had anything interact with me at home.
Andrea, not really.
Yes,
we got one time.
Trace a pattern.
Oh, go ahead, Barb.
I can't trace a pattern. I think I was.
Andrea, I think I have quite a few travelers that come through here. We have had Barbie and myself and Mama Deb have investigated here before. Oh, and Morgan, she was here that night too. We all investigated, sort of. It was kind of a mini investigation, and we did get some strong indication that there was a Native American spirit, and there are a lot of mounds close to us. The Battle of the Red River happened close to us. But it's a very protective spirit in a good way. It's a very loving spirit. My dad has shown up here several times. Usually he makes it pretty obvious. But the stuff, like everything lately, and like I said, the back part, I have an in-law apartment on my house, and usually it's all back here. The other part of the house has been getting a lot over the last couple of weeks. Tracing it has been difficult. That's why we're going to kind of investigate again to see if we can kind of get some hints to everything.
Our house, we got nothing going on. And Morgan joined a lot like earlier than I did, but she always makes it a big deal for like sage cleansing before she leaves the site, and then she'll do it again when we get home, along with just consistent cleansing of the house. So like we don't have anything that we've noticed, at least in our own, which I'm thankful for. Rock and roll. Heck yeah, no attachments.
I have a question before we go on to the next question. Was there a sale on red Solo cups this week?
There's about 400 of these in my house because you never know when they're running up with 25 people here, and I don't want to do dishes.
We wear the same color clothes. We use the same cup.
I've got and I'm dual. There's water here and Ghost energy drink in here. So
good stuff. Okay, so next question: have you ever encountered anything that genuinely frightened you,
other than an industrial size AC?
Right. Anything, I guess, spooky dooky that genuinely frightened you?
Yeah, I mean, it was recent, and I don't want to say the place, but y'all know. It was, I usually keep my cool. I stay very calm, collected. I keep my wits about me, but at a certain location, I had a full-on panic attack. And Buffy really coached me through that. I have never in my life ever had that happen to me on location. Yeah, I can't really go into the specifics, but it was kind of crazy.
Same night, can't go into the specifics either. That one, and so that one truly frightened me in one way, one very different way. And then the first time Casper decided to tap my shoulder when we were when I was in the hole at Brushy, a whole other way. That everybody that was there can attest. I ran out of that cell. I literally
hauled
threw
it
my
out of
backpack
there.
on the ground and I was out.
I was half
I was like,
asleep and you
no.
went hauling it up out of there. The answer is yes. I too cannot go into the specifics of my particular activity, but to be physically manipulated and moved by something that is not in the room, yeah, that was probably the most frightening part to me because I never experienced something that strong on any investigation that could physically move me. And Buffy witnessed it, Barbie witnessed it. I was getting moved.
I was in the same spot watching. Yeah.
So yeah, it is definitely a yes. Have been frightened.
Andrea says that the D block of Brushy gets to her, and that's where we caught. I don't know if you were here earlier, Andrea, but that's where we caught that live EVP from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, spooky vibes in the D block.
Spooky vibes. I've only been on 3 investigations, like proper, all of which have been with NightSong, and 2 of them I've had the crap scared out of me. My first investigation ever, I walked into Harriman, super big, like none of this is real vibes, and we went down to the ER, and I saw a shadow figure. Like, so we're with me, Grace, and Morgan are all down there. Grace and Morgan look off into this corner, and they're like, there's something right there. So I move the camera over. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, looking through the viewfinder. And then I happen to look up. I'm like, oh, no, that looks like something's there. It's got to be something else, right? There's no lights on, nothing like that. As I'm walking forward, it ducks down and back.
Yep.
And then we play hide and seek with it for like probably an hour in the ER. We're hearing bumps over here. They see it over there. Go over there. It's gone. Now it's on the other side. And I ended up chasing it down a flight of stairs that I didn't realize were a half flight of stairs. It was just like black.
Equipment can never make up for the experiences.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah, and like I said earlier in the night, like if you go to Harriman, you'll leave changed. Like something will happen. I promise you, something will happen.
Yeah, so get your tickets if you've not been. Get your tickets by going there.
Let's go.
I'm telling you, it's an amazing place, and we've been
really
a few times now. So if you've never been, we can help you out. But yeah, good point, Ty. I mean, man, that hospital for your first one, I commend you. And I remember coming home and I told Buffy, I was like, he would make one hell of investigator. And now look at you. I mean, you chased. You on your first one, you chased. That's amazing.
It's gotta be a person. Like the brain isn't computing that like there's not something there. So I want there to be something there. Yeah. I'm just too stupid to run from ghosts. And then at Smith County. When the voice came through on that spirit box, the voice that came through was not a good person, and kind of ruled his life through fear. And it worked. I jumped up and ran out of that building. I think that's probably the first time my wife's ever seen me just full on tail between the legs. Bye. But yeah, just those 2. You know, just 2 of the 3 haunts that I've been on with you guys.
That's not bad, I guess.
To 50
Morgan
more.
said, too stupid to run from ghosts needs to be on a t-shirt. Please don't let me forget that because that's happening.
Yeah. I'll take it on a hat. Or
okay.
hoodie. All kinds of swag. Hell yeah. All right. So we're still on my list of questions. They've been going so long. What do you love most about investigating the paranormal?
I'll take
You
first
got to
run on
distill
this
a whole lot into that. Yeah, go ahead.
one. Getting to experience locations in places that some people will never even know exist. Getting to see things, experience things that, again, the experience part of it, people don't know exist. And we'll never know. Getting to meet the people that we meet along the way, hear the stories that we meet along the way. But yeah, I can say, whenever I'm done here, I was able to go do this, this, and this, and I loved every part of it. Not everybody gets to walk around a abandoned hospital. Not everybody gets to walk around an abandoned prison, museums, everything that courthouse, everything that we do. I think I love the experience part of it, but also when we do connect with the beyond, just knowing that there is other stuff past this life, and we've definitely connected with it, and we know. So, yep, that would be it for me.
My favorite part is twofold. One's kind of Vernon's thing, like how often are you going to get access to walk into these places, let alone run around in the dark? You know what I mean? Like, how cool is that as a thing you get to do? And I get to do that with my wife. Like, it's so cool, man. It's so cool. Just the setup of everything is awesome. And again, to Vernon's point, being able to have a conversation with like a different dimension. You know what I mean? Like the whole life beyond. It's a little glimpse into some stuff that you won't truly ever understand here. How often you get to do that?
Yeah. For me, it's like just bonding with people who share the same passion as you. Creating like more like really good friendships. Cause I mean, we bond over some of the scariest stuff.
Just trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding. We do that a lot. Just actually finding true evidence. We're all huge people when it comes to evidence. Like it's going to take more than a REM pod or a cat ball or this or that. We need hard concrete proof, and we are so hard on our own evidence to where we will sit there 10 ways to every way and try and figure it out. And if we can't, so it's just a thrill of the chase, getting really good evidence out there, bonding with your teammates, and the community engagement, and just making new friends, and all the support and stuff that you get along the way. And then, the history portion of it, and getting to see a different side of a building that others may not get to see. So it's pretty cool. Buffy?
So for me, it is a lot of the unknown. You want to know more about the unknown. I've had 2 experiences lately, though, that kind of pushed my drive even harder with why I do it, the why it evolved, the why, I guess. We were at one location and I started asking, we're told there are a lot of unmarked graves here, which means your names aren't somewhere for people to see. And
Hey now.
I heard that. And they're like, "You're talking about me? You talking about me?"
And it was over an hour, the amount of just random names that kept coming through various channels. I was mind blown because the more names started coming through, I said, keep giving us your names. We don't want you forgotten. If you give us your names, you're not forgotten. And every time that I could catch a name coming through something, I would say it out loud. Their names aren't forgotten.
Yeah.
And then this past weekend in Old Stone Jail, Vernon, you were in there when we got the question, "Am I dead?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I had a hard time. We both kind of stalled on how to answer it.
We
And I
didn't
said,
know how. And we
Yeah,
I said,
very
since I've
gingerly-
started, I said, since I've started doing this, trying to come here and speak to you. Still popping over there. And coming here to speak and going and trying to speak with you, my views have changed on death and what death is. I said I would once believe that when you died, there was a heaven or hell. That was it, period, end of subject. I said, now I firmly believe that when you pass on, there is the opportunity to still live. Your spirit lives on a different realm.
Yeah.
And that we can still communicate. We're just on different realms. Your spirit lives on. And when I tell you, I am getting the chills. When I tell you both flashlights lit up and our K2s freaking went nuts. And it felt like the biggest hug when all of that lit up.
Mhm.
You want to talk about something that's going to keep driving me? It's those two moments. People aren't forgotten.
Yeah.
And it's, we not only help the living, we help the dead, the voiceless. We help them.
We go into every room, and it's a consistent thing between all of us. We want to hear your story. That's what we say.
Your story. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Buffy tapped one amazing experience when we were in that kitchen. And again, when we were upstairs, she also had a very similar situation where, she basically was being affected. And I have never seen chicken skin so prominent in my life. She was bubbled up like something like...
And it wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
It stayed like that.
Yeah. It was definitely some good experiences there.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, when we investigate, sometimes the emotions can take over, and it's giving a voice to the voiceless. And yeah, Buffy's right; they're not forgotten. So I think we do a job by helping them out too, not just the people whose homes or businesses are, have the activity.
All right.
Anything else before we wrap this thing up? We're almost on time. Like, we're a little over. Not bad.
A little over, yeah. Yeah, I'm
Not
out of
bad.
questions.
All right.
I'm out of questions.
But you all, thank you so very much for your continued support. This is a great community to be a part of. So thank you all so very much for just being here for us and letting us be there for you. So like us, friend us, follow us. Remember to come to Harriman, please. Come to Harriman. If
Won't regret it.
Yeah, Ronnie D set the price for us. So if for some reason, $119 is a little too much for one ticket, you can do a deposit option. So, and we will work with you. Times are hard. All these times.
Can I do one thing real quick before we come off of here? Because Morgan just texted something to me, so I have to do this really quick. Hi, Delilah.
Oh,
They're watching in the living room.
Yeah, they're watching in the living room.
Apparently, she's proud of me. She said, "Good job, Alma, for using your cup."
I thought you were going to
Alma.
say, tell Dad it's twins.
No, I had to say.
No,
I need to say hi to her since they're watching.
I've seen the picture enough times. It's just one I check every time. Put it in the wallet.
Can confirm too. She sent me the pic. She sent me texts of the pictures along the way.
Yeah.
They
There's
do
only
live
two.
streams of things now. I got a link to when a friend of mine, she was pregnant. They were literally live streaming the ultrasound.
That's so cool.
It was quite
That's
something.
cool. You have to really know that person. I wouldn't live stream my ultrasound. All right.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'm trying my best, Delilah.
Yep. But you guys, the next Paranormal Unity is going to be sometime in September. We might push it to October since we're kind of getting to spooky season, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, if you've missed most of this episode, good thing is you can go back and you can rewatch it. So please do that. So like, comment, subscribe, forward, share, and all that. We hope you guys had a good night. And we helped you kind of understand how NightSong works a little bit.
And whether you're a skeptic
if you can kind of understand
or a
it or not, if
believer.
you can kind of understand it, help us understand it.
If you're a skeptic or
a believer.
If
Thank
you don't
you for watching Paranormal
send me that
Uni-Tea.
Send me that entire wave so I can make it my ringtone. I'll wake up to it every day, baby, every day. Sweet sounds.
Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Y'all take care. Be
Bye.
safe. Bye.